Welcome back to Political Oracle, and I want to do a deeper analysis of the book that I mentioned in my previous video. And that book is called The Leaderless Revolution. And the subtitle of this book is very critical. How ordinary people can take power and change politics in the 21st century. This book is written by Carne Ross. This call for action challenges the traditional political structures. And the book also talks about empowering individuals to create change from the ground up. And remember, this is what President Ruto's promise was, the bottom up, that he was going to create a government that is actually powered by the people down here, up there, but we did not ask how that powering was going to be done. In fact, when he came to government, he realized that powering was actually financial, and that the people were to support the government by giving as much money as possible. And that has not gone well with the people. We did not ask him. We just were singing bottom up without understanding. There are 6 points which are very important in the book, The Leaderless Revolution. And number 1, he realized that by the year 2011, there was disillusionment with traditional power. Already, now, 25 years later, there has been disillusionment and expression of it by the people of the traditional power. Number 2 is what we call decentralized action. By 2011, Carne Ross had noted that in 21st century, the decentralized movements were actually proving to be more effective and democratic alternatives. Since the centralized governance was not working, he predicted that as we go forward, we would see ordinary people actually organizing themselves to address issues like inequality, climate change, and injustice in all its forms and manifestations. Point number 3 is this: the means are the ends. This is how he explained them. In one of his principles, he explains that the way we pursue change must reflect the world we want to create. If we want the world to be a better world going forward, there must be means that are inclusive, that are transparent, and also non-violent. The youth are actually out to use non-violent approaches like protests and picketing, which are enshrined in our constitution, to speak to the powers and the governance structures what they want and what they need, what they aspire. And that is why the government should understand the times and the seasons that we are living in. This book is very critical. Number 4, Carne Ross talks about 9 principles for action. He outlines the following principles. Number 1, acting locally. Number 2, building trust through face-to-face interactions, and rejecting the idea that only experts or leaders can drive change. In fact, what you are going to see, the reason as to why Gen Zs calls themselves leaderless is because they don't want to align with the opposition. They don't want to align with civil society. They don't want to align with NGOs. They don't want to be activists and be contained in the structures of activist organization. They want to drive change in a different way. And this was predicted that as we go forward, we are going to see this. And that is why it is important for the government and the president as the leader to understand what is it that these young people are talking about. Carne Ross tries to talk about encouraging readers, encouraging people who understand to abandon the idea that politics is something done by others in distant institutions. And instead, we need to see politics as something we all do. So, through our choices and relationships and community involvement, we are always politicking. Anything that affects policy is politics. As long as people have come to that realization, there is nothing you are going to do to contain them and to centralize power. And the earlier we understand how to now devolve power to them and start consulting them in all the decisions that we are making that they are affecting them, the better we are going to have a nation go forward. This point, which is very important, is about technology and collective power. We need to understand this one. If the government wants to stop what is happening, they should stop technology. Is it possible? No. It is not possible. You cannot stop technology. In fact, it is not even controlled from here. You can close the news channels, you can close the media, but you cannot close technology, which we have no control. And if we do that, we just do that in part. We are dealing with times and seasons where it is not easy for the traditional structure of government to function and function effectively and sustainably. How long are you going to do that? There are digital tools that people use to self-organize. Digital tools that do not require or dissolve centralized leadership. If you say no media should stream live what is happening, the social media will. If the social media closes, one somewhere is going to record that and they will stream it later. Because at one particular time we must go back to normalcy. And that is why the 6 points are very critical. If you want to understand what is happening today, the global tradition has been like this. There is disillusionment with the traditional powers everywhere, not only in Kenya. Number 2, there is a decentralized action, not only from a certain body, but actually to individuals. Number 3, the means are the ends, and people are interested actually to make sure what they are going through will produce results at the end of it. Number 4, the 9 principles for action, which I have actually talked about some of them: acting locally while thinking globally, building trust through face-to-face interaction, rejecting the idea that only experts and leaders can drive change is something we need to understand is happening. Imagining politics, and this is where people abandon the idea that politics is something done by some people. No, it is done from an individual perspective. In fact, that's what we call self-determinism. There is an awakening self-determination among the citizens. And number 6, technology and the collective power, where there is nothing we can do, but people will self-organize, people will amplify their voices using the social media tools and the digital platforms that they have. And therefore, this is something that is happening everywhere. It has nothing to do with the president. It has nothing to do with the government, although they have been caught actually in the fracas. They must align themselves with what is happening and try to be part and parcel of those who are advocating for change. And because they have the power to do that, they can not only advocate for change, but they can cause the change to be and drive the change, because they are at the steering of the governance. If they don't, there is nothing that they are going to do. They will come, governments come and go, and it will be very easy for them to be removed. So what are we saying? Understand the people, understand the times, understand the seasons, align with the seasons, listen to individuals, and be concerned not with decentralized power, but with decentralized power. And that is how you are going to survive. And what can I say? That is the political oracle.